Well, I'll dive into the topic. Let me just check the audio real quick to make sure everything is good. Then we'll go from there. So let me see. Let me see. All right. All right. So audio is good. For anybody that's been keeping an eye out on the NBA, pretty sure you guys know by now that Dell Demps has been fired from the Pelicans, and you never want to see someone lose their job because everyone has a family to provide for. But for the Pelicans, I think this is definitely a good move, just based on the decision making that he has did in the past for this team. Um, he's been a GM since July 21st, 2010. I'm just looking at some trades and pickups that he did throughout his years. But I'm going to start all the way back from August 11th, 2010, and just point out any good or big trades that I see he has done, or any hiring of certain coaches. Um, so going back to 2010, he traded Darren Collison and James Posey to the Pacers for Trevor Ariza, which I think was a good pickup at the time. Let me scroll up. It's probably going to take me a while to find another solid thing that he did, because there's not too many good things that Dell Demps has done as the GM for the Pelicans. Looking to December 14, 2011, traded Chris Paul and $350,000 of cash and a 2015 second round pick to the Clippers for Al-Farouq Aminu, Eric Gordon, Chris Kaman, which was a horrible trade. But at the time, Chris Paul was kind of demanding a trade and he wanted out. Probably was more behind the scenes back then, but you still should have you should have shopped Chris Paul more and tried to get another star talent back, or at least a better pick, because the pick they did get turned out to be Austin Rivers, um, which, while he's an okay player now, you definitely could have got a lot more for Chris Paul. Um, just scrolling through more of the trades and transactions that he did. June 28, 2012, we all know he selected Anthony Davis and Austin Rivers, and we know Anthony Davis has become a superstar. He's one of the best players in the league. But let's see what he has done to try to, or what talent he has surrounded Anthony Davis with. Um, got Ryan Anderson in 2012. Okay pickup. Davis is still developing at the time, but um, Ryan Anderson was just a floor spacer. Let me see. I mean, in 2017, in June 27, 2013, he selected Nerlens Noel in the 2013 NBA draft. And let me just, with the sixth pick, so let me just see who else was available in that draft. You already have your big man of the future. Why would you draft another big man to play alongside him? Around that time is when the league started transitioning to small ball. And this is just another poor decision by him. So some other guys we could have got, you could have got Ben McLemore, you could have got Caldwell Pope, C.J. McCollum, Giannis. Man, imagine if we had Giannis with AD. Now I know at the time the player that was drafted was probably having a better college season than the players I've listed after him, but that's part of being a GM and being a executive. You have to scout talent, and the draft is just you drafting players based on potential. Um, Many people would have scratched their eyes on why you, at the time, on why you're drafting Giannis or C.J. McCollum or Caldwell Pope or Ben McLemore or whoever. But if they turn out to be solid players in a couple years, then who really cares um, about the people who were scratching their head on your draft pick? So another bad move. Let's look and see. Let me see. Let me see. Trading Nerlens Noel in the 2014 first round draft pick. Alfred Payton was selected. Let me see. Let me just check my audio one more time to make sure everything is still smooth. Let me see. Still smooth. Alright, so audio is good. I mean, Omar Caspi, Alonzo G, I guess that's okay pickups. Signed Jimmer for that. Horrible move. Why would you sign Jimmer? Signed Russ Smith, another undersized guard, can't shoot. Jimmer for that, undersized guard, who we know can shoot it based on what he did in college, but just not a good pickup to me. Dante Cunningham, he was an okay pickup. Can't really shoot, but lone guy, solid defender. Let me see. Just a lot of bad decisions. Fired Monty Williams. Let me go ahead and look at Monty Williams' coaching career. I believe with the talent that he was given, I thought Monty Williams was doing a pretty solid job with that Pelicans team. Let me see if I can find it. Alright, so I have his coaching record with the Pelicans. His first season in 2010, 46 and 36, not bad. Well, this is back when we had Chris Paul. 2011, 2012, 21 to 45, 2012 to 2013, 27 55. 2013, 2014, 34 and 48. And then that 2014, 2015 season, 45 and 37. That's when they played the Warriors in the first round. And they lost. It was a sweep. They lost 4 games, but you were trending up, and then they just fired him. So I believe that was another bad move. Then you replace him with Elvin Gentry, who at the time was the assistant coach for the Warriors, and I agree. I thought that was a good pickup at the time. Just because he's coming from the Warriors, a championship team, maybe he could bring some of that pedigree over here. And Elvin Gentry, 2015-2016 season went 30 and 52. Next season, 34 and 48. Next season, we did go 48 and 34. We beat the Trailblazers. I want to say the Pelicans swept them, and then they lost to the Warriors. And then this season, they're currently 26 and 33. Lost Rondo. Let me see. I'm going to try to fast forward. Another thing that was, you signed, I remember this. You signed Omer Asik in 2015 to a big contract. horrible move. At the time, Davis was probably too thin. I remember people saying Davis was too small to play a center position, but even if you're going to sign Ashik, I wouldn't sign him to the contract that you signed him to. Let me see. You signed Tim Frazier. He was a okay pickup. You selected 2016. You selected Buddy Hield. Solid pickup. Well, you see what Buddy Hield has turned into now. Pelicans could definitely use the shooting. And then you trade Tyreek Evans, Langston Galloway, and Buddy Hield. A 2017 first round draft pick. That pick turned to Zach Collins. To the Sacramento Kings for Omar Caspi and DeMarcus Cousins. And then you have a pretty solid record with Cousins and Davis. Cousins gets hurt, and then you don't want to offer him a new contract, which I kind of agreed with. But if you could have got him to stay for some, a reasonable contract, I probably would have took that risk on him, just because it's not very often that you get another superstar with Anthony Davis. So you let DeMarcus Cousins walk in free agency. Then you sign Drew Holiday to this big deal. Drew Holiday is solid, but I wouldn't have paid him the contract that they paid him. If I had to let him walk, I probably would have let him walk. Just based on the money that they've paid him. But Drew's definitely a solid player. It's just, you signed Alfred Payton, you signed Julius Randle. Julius Randle's been a solid pickup. I'll give you that. Alfred Payton, it's not a bad pickup. I'll give you that. But there's just not a whole lot of anything that you have done to make this team better. If we switch over to an executive like Danny Ainge, when his superstars, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Rajon Rondo, on Ray Allen, when they were on the end of their careers. Well, I think Ray Allen actually left in free agency, but he traded Garnett and Pierce and some other players to the Nets, got some picks, and with those picks he got Terry Rozier, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, hired a good coach in Brad Stevens. In the trade got Isaiah Thomas, and we already know what the Celtics are doing now. Robbed the Cavaliers by getting Kyrie Irving. But even if they don't get Kyrie Irving, just with him getting Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Terry Rozier, and trading for Isaiah Thomas in a draft, trading for Isaiah Thomas and getting those other players in the draft, he had to develop those players he drafted and scout them and see their potential and see what they can be and put them in the right positions and with the right coach. And that coach had to implement the right system to succeed. But Dell Demps has, besides Anthony Davis, never drafted solid players. While he did trade for Drew Holiday, he signed him to a contract that was, to me, too much. Did a good job picking up Rajon Rondo, but didn't let him go. Did get Julius Randle, but with Rajon Rondo not running the offense anymore, you got Drew back there, or Tim Frazier, and Tim Frazier is a point guard who's only in the NBA because the Pelicans need him. You could let Drew play the one, but Drew is better playing the two. But long story short, the Pelicans made a good decision on letting Dell Demps go. And I just hope they get somebody in there who can turn this franchise around, who's going to take the job seriously. Not saying Dell Demps didn't take it seriously, but you need somebody in there who's going to have an eye for talent, be able to build a team in the draft, and hopefully, with making good selections in the draft, can maybe get a superstar or two to come to the Pelicans and you know, change this franchise around.